This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, March 12th, 2016, episode 65. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infection, the survival podcast. We cover the latest information on survival video games, where we bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. At Nicholas M. Craig is my Twitter. InfectionPodcast.com is the website. He's not sick.
Yes.
Brian
Take two.
Take two, but he's not
The
sick.
people that are listening to the recordings will not know all that happened before.
I hate Windows. Hello. Hi, Brian.
This is after a reboot and about a 10-minute wait. So,
yeah.
so I am not sick. As I said before in the recording, I feel...
Why do you... See, if we didn't even reference it, nobody would have known. You don't know how to run a podcast, Brian.
I feel bad for the people listening live.
Who gives a shit?
Like, all right. Well, anyways, yeah. I said last time we said this, that...
Unacceptable.
I didn't realize until I'd listened to the show a little bit before how horrible I sounded. So I'm glad to be feeling better.
We are streaming live on Twitch exclusively this week because we believe our RSS data stream aggregator was our CDN for the show.
No, we're not on YouTube.
We're not on YouTube, which is a bad week to not be on YouTube.
Drops.
This is the problem, though. Bad week not to be on YouTube because they do archive the recording. So bad week to not be on YouTube, but we should be good to go. Let's see. So I played Mad Max. And let me tell you, I'm not a fan of Mad Max.
But are you not a fan of the movies?
I've never watched the movies.
Oh my goodness. Harry Potter, Mad Max.
I don't watch movies. It's very
Lord
simple.
of the Rings.
It's very simple.
Star Wars.
I do watch. I have seen Star Wars movies. That's okay. That's now. And I have seen some of the Lord of the Rings movies too. But those are like 8 hours a piece. So that's I think anybody can pass on those cars. Those movies are ridiculous.
So I had Laura actually watch the original Mad Maxes. Now there's the original Mad Max 1. That is one that was made on a low budget, like it was his first film that I mean as far as the Mad Max series, and it's not the best. Like it's an interesting story, but it's nothing like Mad Max 2, 3 and the new one. So you need to watch Mad Max 2, Mad Max 3. I had Laura watch them this week and she actually enjoyed them quite a bit.
Where'd you watch them? Here. Yeah, but did you stream them?
Yeah, I watched them from my I have them on my computer.
Yeah, but how did you get the files? Is my question.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Netflix or something like that.
Yes, one of those services.
She was, as BK Delta brings up, it's 80s-ish. She was like, when was this made? Because it's totally 80s.
Is it like that?
Number 3, they've got a saxophone.
Is it like Kung Fury?
No, it's got like a saxophone, like in the third one, it's got a lot of saxophone. Tina Turner is in it.
I'm fine with the saxophone.
So it's got her singing in the intro. It's just it's a very 80s-ish movie. A lot of guys in weird outfits, like bondage outfits.
Oh, okay.
It was they're trying to get that feel of apocalypse, but I don't know why people are wearing bondage outfits in the apocalypse. Seems like that wouldn't be the most efficient.
You don't know until you live through it.
I guess.
So this is not that I don't. So it's not that I don't think the game is good. Let me just throw that out there. It's not that I don't think the game is good. I played just about 2 hours of it, and I know that's not even scratching the surface. I get that, but in my initial 2 hours of the game, the issue I had was the freaking cutscenes or the stops in gameplay. Every time I got to a thing, and every time I went and did anything, it's like, oh, walk over to this hill. You walk over to the hill, 30-second cutscene. Well, now we need to go back to the ship. You jump in your car. The ship is a 4.5-second ride, and now you've got like a 3-minute cutscene inside of a ship. It's just I wanted to get into playing the game.
They're trying to tell a story.
I get they're trying to tell a story, and I can respect that. But I'm 2 hours into the game now, and it's still happening. Not as much, but it's still. I just want to play. I mean, this is supposed to be an open world game, like GTA. When you're just playing free roam,
Yeah.
Like, there's no like, hey, this is how you drive a car. You hop in and you press the right trigger. It's just way
Yeah.
too much of that.
I mean, I played 53 hours, so like that to me was the very beginning, and like it's
It's just
so
it's,
I forgot that happens.
it's just it's a lot. You know when you just want to play and it's just like every time you're just trying to getting into it, it stops.
Yeah.
It's just really frustrating. It's not that I'm not going to continue playing it, but right now my opinion is very swayed due to the fact that every time I try to do something, I'm watching, even if it's just a little cutscene, like 3 or 4 seconds, it's just enough that it stops the game.
Throws you out of it.
It totally stops the immersion that we talk about. It totally kills that because you're playing, and then you're watching a cutscene. That's like, all right, now I guess I got to do something. So that's my thought on.
I don't know. For some reason, I think because of there were so many references to the original movies for me, it made it really enjoyable.
Okay.
And since you haven't seen the movies, like there's probably a lot of things that you're missing or references to things that you're missing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, you have no point of reference for it.
Yeah.
So
Are you recommending that anybody that plays this game watches the movies first? Is that your recommendation? Is that
yeah, if you're gonna play Mad Max, I would not. I mean, you don't necessarily. It does have some references. There are certain things that they referenced a lot more in the latest ones that weren't really, or there are a few things that are in the new movie that weren't in the old ones. But there's a lot of references, and I don't want to give away what happens, in the game. But there are a lot of references and things that happen in those numbers 2 and 3 movies.
Gotcha.
And even the first movie, like the vehicles, like there's references to vehicles and everything else. So if you haven't watched them in a long time, it might be cool to watch those movies first, so that when you play the game, you're like, oh, and you notice these things.
All right, so I will try to play some more Mad Max this week, and then I will give you my update. After that.
See if it. But what you should do is watch the movies.
Yeah,
at
but
least
see,
2 and 3.
That's not gonna happen. Like there's no way that I'm gonna watch both of the movies and get into this game in the next month. There's just no way.
Yeah,
it just won't happen.
Well, what you could do is even if you watch number 2, just to give you a feel, because the number 3 was different than the newest Mad Max was very different. Like you're missing a bunch of the weird, like what got people really liking Mad Max.
Okay.
It kind of made it more Hollywood, and I mean there was still weird stuff in there, but it wasn't the same kind of weird that you got from the 80s.
Gotcha. Okay. Then I will I'll check that out. So if you're looking at this month's Humble Bundle Monthly,
the one coming up.
Yeah, the one that's out right now. The Mad Max is the game that comes with it.
Is the main title.
So, and the 23 days left on that, so we're you got plenty of time to buy that. Just if a game like that, if you're not going to be playing 60 hours of it, if you've got a similar play style to me, when you kind of like
where you play here and there a few minutes.
Yeah, I would not recommend this game. I
totally it's not that. Like this is one where you're like, for me it was playing through the story, because it's got a really good story. So
the story is phenomenal from what I've played so far. Yeah, the little bit of story that I've seen, but it's just those cutscenes, man.
The one thing that I really like is that the guy who rides in your car with you.
Yeah, the mechanic guy or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think they put him in there well enough to where he doesn't interfere with how you're doing things, but like he just kind of repairs your car. He's not like
yeah. But see, then I bet you through the game does he follow you through the whole game?
Yeah.
Okay, so but in the beginning he's really annoying because every time, because he already like knows the land and you're newer to the land or whatever, and he is the one that's initiating that dialogue every time you get someplace. He's like, every time you pull look over this hill. Look in the camp, and it's like,
for me, I kind of phased him out.
Yeah.
It was interesting when he would say something new. I'd be like, oh, he said something really unique. Like after almost 60 hours, like when you hear something different, there were some things, and that's what I enjoyed, is that he would say something unique.
Every game needs a claptrap. There you go.
Yeah, he's pretty much the claptrap.
Yeah. So, by the way, I didn't like Borderlands either, so that may be the.
Oh my goodness!
I own it.
You're just too much.
Own it and played it. Just wasn't a huge fan, not like everybody else.
I never finished them.
Never played Destiny. I never liked Destiny either.
Destiny.
That Destiny's a grind. It's like World of Warcraft. So, let's see, I'm trying to think what else this week.
So we've been playing.
Oh, you and Langon have been playing a game, and I saw them playing it again last night.
Yeah, and we've been playing Guild Wars 2.
Yes.
Actually, a group of people. We've had
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Landgun's been inviting people. I've been so busy. I've been getting.
That's fine.
In there
I'm glad to see Landgun. Really, I hope Landgun's listening to this. I thank you for inviting me, Landgun. Appreciate it.
But Guild Wars 2, it's pretty much a free to play game for a lot of it. I mean, they're sure at some point you'll hit restrictions at higher levels. But yeah, we've been playing some Guild Wars 2. A lot of people, like, they're in their 30s and 40s as far as level. I think I'm level 12 or something.
Okay.
So, but it's kind of like WoW. I just don't know that you would.
Oh no, I wouldn't. No, I know Guild Wars. It was a joke. I would not play Guild Wars. I've seen plenty of gameplay. I've watched plenty of people play it on Twitch. It's totally not my game.
Yeah, I mean, unless for me, it's almost too much like WoW to where I'm just,
You're turned off.
Get into it. Well, I know that I don't know. It's just not. I know that like the leveling up part for me isn't what I enjoy. It's the end story, and I don't really want to get to that point in this to where I'm putting that much time into it.
People always get pissed off when I say I don't like games. This is a common thing I've seen. I'll get like private messages and stuff, and people message me. No, nobody here is messaging me, but like it's just not my play style. Like it's not that I think the game is bad, or that it's the company. It's just I have a very very odd play style and game play and game I enjoy, and most of like the harder core games is just not my play style.
Yeah,
it's weird. I'm like I guess I guess we're doing a podcast about video games, so I guess that classifies us as nerds, but not in like the sense of like, oh, I mean, just Star Wars and Star Trek and World of Warcraft in my mom's basement. Like
this past week I played board games. And
I play board games too. Isn't that weird? Like I really love playing board games. My wife has been
playing The Division.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's been a problem too. Is that they want to play Guild Wars, and then my wife gets home and she's like, "Will you play The Division with me?" And so I'm really like,
you should tell
torn.
you should tell your wife The Division is a great single player game, and it's got a really good single player aspect.
Well, she keeps saying, "Oh, I don't want to get ahead of you." I'm like, I already started over a character with you. I have a character that's already higher level than you. It's like I can almost tell, just go until you catch up to that character, and then I'll play with you more.
There you go.
So, all right.
So other than Mad Max, I played a little bit of Rocket League, and that was about it this week. So that's that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as far as Mad Max, like that took up way too much of my time. Probably made me get behind in school a little bit this week. I mean, how long it hasn't been out that long. It's been out 12 days and I got 60 hours.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah, something like that.
That is horrible. No, I ordered it early. So I had it take the payment out early. So I've had it a month, I think.
Yeah, but you downloaded it the same day I No, you haven't had it a month. You downloaded it the same day I had it.
No, because I pre-ordered.
Doesn't matter. You downloaded it. Me and you were downloading it while we were playing Rocket League.
Oh,
that was 2 weeks ago.
All right, so 2 weeks.
You're trying to be like, I've had it for a month, 60 hours over 4 weeks. No, that's BS, Brian. We were playing Rocket League. It was 2 weekends. It was 2 Saturdays ago you got this game.
Okay. Well, okay. So, yeah. See, so that's my problem is like when I binge on a game and then I got other people asking me to play other games. I mean, I put 60 hours into Rocket League. I mean, not Rocket League. I put 60 hours into Mad Max.
I was going to say, man, we need to play some Rocket League if you put 60 hours in.
Yeah.
So that Humble Bundle is up. I learned this firsthand.
They did do a new Humble Bundle as well.
Oh, regular Humble Bundle? Okay, what's this then?
So this is a Telltale Games Humble Bundle.
Oh,
so if you're into The Walking Dead,
wow.
Telltale version, Game of Thrones, Telltale, Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, Poker Night, Sam & Max. Like the problem with this one, I didn't order it because I have 90% of this already.
Yeah, so
I have all the Sam & Max, I have all the Back in the Future, I had Poker Night.
That Poker Night game is a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah,
I had it on an Xbox, I think.
Well, I'd have to get the $12 version just to get The Walking Dead 2. And that'd be the only thing other than Poker Night 2 that and Wolf Among Us that I don't have.
Yeah, cool.
So it's just not worth it for me to order it, but we'll see.
And
this
runs for 13 more days, and then the monthly runs for 23 more days. And I learned this firsthand. If you want Mad Max and what does it come with normally? Like 6 or 7 other games? Or like maybe whatever. You have to order it.
It'll probably come with 5 other games.
You order it within the time frame. I was under the assumption that after they announced it, when you purchased, you got last month's and current months. That's not the case. So if you want Mad Max and the other games, you have to order it within the next 23 days, or you lose out. I really wish I would have gotten the Stick of Truth because I really wanted that. So
yeah,
we found that out firsthand. So
all right. Well, you can play it on my share.
Yeah, exactly. But just for anybody that's
yeah, and I didn't realize that because I ordered it before it even came out. Like as soon as they announced it, I got subscribed, so I never saw when things actually came. So
yeah, there you go. Humble $12 a month. Think about that. Think about $12 a month. You probably go out to grab like lunch one day a week.
It is a deal. Like even if you
this is a $60 game.
If you play 3 hours of let's say Mad Max.
Like, but here's the thing with Mad Max, I can come back to that at any time in the future. I can come back to that 3 years from now. Exactly. In 3 years from now, I can come back and play Mad Max and get $12 worth of value out of it.
Yep. All right. So do you want to talk about some Ark? No.
Yes. Now that I love how the show went from strictly news to like 15 minutes of just like back and forth banter about video. I like that though. I think that's great. So
all right, so there's one major update.
I'll let you talk this week because you can talk. So go ahead.
Yeah, now that I actually can, and it's not. I'm not worried about coughing and hacking into the microphone. So they had 238.6, and so they had a bunch of unlisted updates. So because last week the last one we did was 238.3, and the only one this week is 238.6. So there are 3 updates in there, but they're listing 1. So this is on April 9th. They did this one. They had a issue that was preventing dinos from harvesting, so they fixed that in this one. And then here's the interesting one: is they allowed underneath foundation build method on non-Quetz platforms and boats. So this is making it so that you can actually put a wall and then put a foundation below something. So you can put like a floor below the boat, or you can build down from a platform. So I actually put in a link to a picture, some pictures that kind of show how this works. It's an Imager thing.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
But this is showing the just the building method of being able to link things together.
Yeah.
Like on a boat. And
cool.
Get a lot more fancy as far as your building style. And you could do this on bases as well.
Did you draw these?
No, this is someone else. I just found them because I was looking. I wanted to look up what did they mean by underneath foundation.
Yeah, this is cool. This takes a game that pretty much was there was a water element, but it wasn't like a major aspect of the game. Like you could build like little kind of rafts, but they really wasn't
bringing the water element into it. I mean, they've been putting in more fish or things that are in the sea. They're putting these underwater bases in.
Exactly.
They're really making it so that that's not wasted space in this game.
Wait, because it is. I mean, I remember when we were playing Ark for the 4 weeks that we did, we built a bunch of rafts, but they would just be like they would just be left floating around random spots because it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
So I really like the idea of being able to expand the water element, which is a hard element to expand on. You got to really think about water. It's such a useless space in a lot of games.
Now, if they could create to where like there's a lot, I mean, they have pretty much sharks and just things that will kill you, but if they can make it to where it's just an extension of, there's a lot of things you can harvest because you can harvest oil. You can get all these different things from underneath the water. But if they could just continue that out to where as you go deeper, there's more difficult things that you need the scuba gear and just really
submarines would be a cool thing to add. Yeah,
imagine if they make those boats to where you could seal them and then take them underneath the water. Like if you'd have to seal them and put air in them somehow.
I think build little air pumps. I think that would be cool. And that's something they would totally do, because if people think this game is some like prehistoric survival game, it's not. You start off with primitive tools. But then you get to a point
you
where
get guns and
you pretty much have like mech
else.
suits at one point. So
Yeah.
it's not like that at all. A submarine would not be out of the, or some type of submarine would not be out of the question. I don't think. I could be wrong.
So now this next update, as far as their future update, 239, they're looking at doing that on April 14th. So here in 2 days.
Okay.
They have a longer list of things that they say they're going to add, but it seems like they always add, 75% of them, and then they push out the other ones a little bit farther. So I'm not sure exactly which ones are going to be put into this. So
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. So April 14th will be their next patch. They've done one. I know they did put out a patch for the Xbox. And they put out a patch on April 7th for their PvP games. So
Yeah.
so pretty much they had two on April 7th. They had a patch on April 9th, and then they're doing the next one on the 14th. So that is Arc. They're pretty much Arc for the week. There was a link that if you look at the extinction servers,
Yeah.
they showed an image of what that's going to look like. Because I talked about it earlier. A big
asteroid
meteor is going to hit the planet. It's not necessarily Earth, but whatever arc Earth is. They're going to have it to where you can have that and you can see it in the sky, I guess coming closer and closer perhaps.
Yeah.
To where then it hits and destroys everything at the end of the month.
That is like the coolest thing that they've added that in. Like it's its own built-in wipe system.
Yep. And it looks cool. Like you visually can see, oh man, that thing's getting close.
Do you think they're ever going to wipe official servers?
Oh, at some point, if they do a big enough map change, they'll have to.
Because I feel like if they wipe official servers, they'll lose like half their player base. Those people won't come
See, the
back.
problem is they're really efficient. Like, let's say they go through and they say, all right, we're going to add, because they added in the snow biome and they added in the swamp biome, those new caves.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good at saying, okay, we're putting the entrance of the caves here. So let's just wipe around the entrance of the cave. People had buildings there.
Exactly.
They are able to do that. Like if you were to do that, for instance, in H1Z1,
You have to wipe the entire map.
they'd be like, we're wiping the whole server. I mean, you move a pebble in that game and you're wiping the whole server because you're having to change the map.
Yeah, but I just wonder at one point, let's say they've got 60,000 concurrent players. If they did a server wipe, I wonder if that number would drop significantly because people would not come back.
They'd have to have some sort of an incentive or something like, oh, the first week we're doing this. I mean, you would lose some people, but you probably
because I just feel like at this point, if you're 4 months into Arc, you've got to keep playing or all your stuff dies. You're almost like you're on like a guilt trip because you have to play. Like if you don't play, all of your stuff dies. But then like once you start with that clean slate, I wonder if you're like, let me move on to something else because it's like a full-time job.
You would lose some people.
Yeah, so I wonder.
So that's pretty much all the Arc news I had. As far as H1Z1 news.
Yeah, I've got some H1Z1 stuff here. So producer update, 2 weeks in a row here. We had the Just Survive update last week, and now we have the producers update for King of the Kill this week. So what was supposed to be this weekend, this past weekend, if you're listening to the show on like Tuesday or Wednesday, was the test of the new Ignition game mode, which this is the second beta test of the game mode. They pushed that back because there was some bugs that I guess were causing bugs that would have made the game obviously not work to its full extent.
And they don't need any more bad press. So
well, it's just exactly why release a beta if you know stuff's not going to work? So you can give them credit for that, right? They at least said there's some nagging bugs, which indicates bugs that clearly made the game not function well enough that it wasn't worth doing a beta on. So they're scheduling another one for the test servers soon. So we'll find out about that. The next thing here, Brian, I still believe that people from Daybreak listen to this show because they literally reference something that we mentioned last week on the show. So this is in reference to removing the vehicles in the Box of Destiny. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this word for word.
Verbatim.
Here. Yes. Let me provide some context as to why we made this change. This is removing vehicles from the Box of Destiny. We did have an annoying bug with the vehicles and tombstones causing some real chaos in there. And then this is the good part. While we properly fixed the explosion bug, We also talked about the current Box of Destiny experience and felt that vehicles were were a distracting experience. That, I believe, is a bull-faced lie. They had to get in there like, Brian, I'm pretty sure brought this up, like, oh, the fix for fixing the tombstones is just remove the vehicles. Like, what could possibly go wrong?
We did fix it, but then we took it out the same week.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, oh, we fixed the tombstones will no longer blow up and the cars are gone. Like, were the tombstones actually fixed, or were they fixed because the cars were removed? So they say they actually fixed the explosion bug with the tombstones, but Brian, the only reason I feel like they said that is because of this show. Why else would they have brought that up?
So I have a fun idea. I have a fun idea what they should do with the Box of Destiny.
Okay.
If they want the vehicles in there, why not put a dirt track, like a mud racing track around the outsides, like around the outside edge?
Yeah, and there's something to do.
Yeah, like you can have it to be where there's kind of like like it's a dirt track, and people can watch them race around. If they want to, whoever gets in the vehicles first gets to race.
Yeah, just drive. Like right now, it's just a bunch of like stupid jumps and stuff you can't go over. Just a big circle. Why not just make it an open grass area with nothing in it? Like it's a pregame lobby.
I think they should make a shooting range. Like give you a bunch of bullets and targets.
That would be cool. Yeah, I just don't know. Honestly, I have never done anything in the Box of Death. I would be perfectly fine if it was just a blank slate. Like a Garry's Mod blank world. Just flat green grass and 4 walls around you. I could care less.
Yeah.
It's a useless... It is... I think it's a waste of time for them to be putting effort on that.
Messing with it at all.
The Box of... What does it last? A minute and a half at the most? You're in there? Two minutes?
Unless you get stuck in a low pop time.
But. Yeah, but I mean, for most cases, 1, 2, maybe 3 minutes. Like, it's not... You're not in there for 15 minutes. Yeah. It's very, very quick, so who knows?
I mean, I just think if they made it to where, you know, as I said, if they had some sort of a shooting range, like you could pick up some guns and shoot at targets, like that would be something that would be worthwhile to me.
Yeah. So the next thing here is the removal of fog. And the thing that people need to understand here is this is the fog, not the green gas. So this is fog. This is the white fog. And the reason they said this is many players were complaining about the fog effect. I would say that I would have probably complained about it at some point too, and its implementation. At certain points, the fog was so heavy that you couldn't see anything. When it was dark, when it was like early morning and foggy, it was almost impossible to see in front of you. And I get it's a survival game, but there's a difference between like in this case they say it's implementation. There is a difference between a well implemented fog system and what this was, which was pretty much just like white. Like, it wasn't really fog. Fog doesn't look like that. It was just like it looked just like the gas does. It's this like weird.
But there's a very big limitation in their engine. Like it doesn't display fog.
I just don't think they know how to display it properly. Even the green gas in it's just a solid color.
Now the newest ones that they're doing are a little bit better. Maybe they're going to be reworking it
it's just
more
so
similar
bad.
to the new green gas.
But you remember how the old green gas was? It was literally just like a line of pixels, and the line would just move towards you, and then everything behind it was just green, like 85% green opacity. It was very, very poorly done. So the fog is out. Hopefully this doesn't become a. They took the rain out because they couldn't figure the implementation.
So
of that.
far they've taken out the vehicles, and then now.
But I'm saying, so I mean, fog is gone. There's no rain. What are the conditions?
Weather system's been taken out.
What are the current conditions going to be in the game?
Always sunny.
Oh, it's always sunny in Philly, I guess. Yep. I don't know. It's night or day, and since this is King of the Kill, there is no night, so it's just constantly going to be day.
Yeah,
which is, I guess, fine for King of the Kill. But there should be some kind of conditional. You don't want every game to be the same. So, the clouds are next, says Bloodcore. You never know. The cloud effects are gone. It's just bright blue skies all day. So they talk about some guns and weapons on here.
They're saying the guns weren't behaving properly. So
I don't even know.
I think it's because they brought in that new hit system.
I don't even want to go into that because I don't think that new hit system's in here yet. It's definitely not. Is it really? It
says I will continue to provide updates on this while we work through it. Right now, we are gathering data, looking at bullet travel and hit registration.
Oh, okay.
So that from here, say we can move on to obstructed paths, exploits, and other areas of the gunplay. So because they have it to where it does different noises now when you shoot
Yeah.
somebody.
I thought
And
that
so
was. I guess that is live. Yeah.
yeah, that is live. But they're saying especially the shotgun is not behaving as intended. So pretty much the guns are just being kind of wacky. And I'm sure it has something to do with now that they've changed where you hit changes the damage.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they say rating is out, birds, fog, rain, doors.
melee is out.
Melee is out.
Melee is pretty much out right now. Anyway,
You can no longer punch anybody.
Yeah, Melee is pretty much out. And then to wrap it up here with the recent bug fixes, they say they're still focused on the bug fixes and the quality of life stuff. And this is, I guess, good. They didn't fix the issue that we've had, but they fixed the bombing runs around airdrops. Sometimes they were occurring too frequently. Have they ever referenced the random airdrops that killed you, Brian, that one time when we were playing Battle Royale?
I had,
like 6 or
in a
7
couple
months
weeks,
ago?
I had multiple times in a row where a random bomb would come out of nowhere. And sometimes they wouldn't even land visually on me. Like it'd be over there and then it would kill me. It would kill me when I'm standing right next to somebody.
It'd be me. I mean, you and I were standing right next to each other, and it
The
killed
bomb
you and I.
literally landed directly on my head. How does that work?
There you go.
I like gravity. He says H1Z1 just remove.
Yeah, yeah, just remove. There you go. So that's the producers update, which I believe that they'll be producing more regularly now, because now there will be somebody producing the Just Survive and then somebody producing the King of the Kill stuff. So other than that, now we're back on Reddit. So we're on their website. Now we're on Reddit. Now we're on their website. Now we're on
This
Reddit.
is information on a test server update,
Which
and
didn't
pretty much
happen.
Information about the
Which didn't happen. There was supposed
Yes.
to be a test server update this weekend,
Yeah.
last weekend, and there was not. And the wipe was also delayed. That was supposed to be. Let me go back to last week's show notes. That was delayed, correct? It was supposed to be.
I haven't seen it.
It was supposed to be.
I don't run the. I deleted the test server.
was-
I think now. So
Well, it was supposed to be 4.7. Was supposed to be the wipe.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to. So we did the show last. We did the show on the 5th, and the wipe is supposed to be the 6th or the 7th. And to my knowledge, the wipe is still yet to happen.
Still not happened yet.
So
So
we are
they're putting it
waiting.
so that all the base objects now decay in 7 days. They lowered the difficulty of the Screamer from hard to normal. They added more restricted base building servers, or they're going to add, I guess. The Governor's Mansion will now. So when the Governor's Mansion is now included in the limited build rules, so they're making it so you can't build a base right at the entrance of the Governor's Mansion anymore, and in the backyard probably. They turn on the recursive destruction on bases, so that if you destroy something on the bottom, it'll destroy everything that was above it. Zombies should no longer hold weapons in their hand. So if they have a weapon, that it's going to be holstered. So like a gun, because I mean, if you think about it, is a zombie smart enough to hold a handgun?
no.
I mean, they shouldn't be. I mean, it should be that if they have a gun, it's just because it was strapped to them. I mean, they have very limited brain function. So the Governor's Mansion should now show a location in the character screen when you are there. Punji traps and barbed wire now damage zombies again, and zombies still look now that. We had the exact like a year ago, right? A year ago, the punji sticks weren't doing any damage, and that somehow came back.
And then the punchy sticks were killing and blowing up everything.
Yeah. So zombies still look right, and are spawning with colored hair and no more glasses.
Yes.
I don't know why they took glasses off of the zombies.
Well, they were tweaking what the zombies were spawning with, and if you watch that video, they're spawning with different effects.
Yeah.
So with that, I think stuff was getting screwed up with that. So the recursive, I think the biggest thing out of this is the recursive
based
destruction. Destruction system, because that's just fantastic. I want to just reference what some people are talking about in chat, and that is the Z2 map. Now, this fits right into this post I saw on Reddit this week, which was, Brian, this is going to really put time in perspective for you. So this is on Reddit this week. I'll throw it in the notes here. This was an image that was posted 11 months ago, and it was the new city. And I specifically remember showing this on the show. These
11
images.
months ago.
11
Yes,
months
I do.
ago.
I remember us talking about this exactly.
For some reason, it's like it's literally like I remember what I even said. I remember I commented on that the textures weren't done, and it says like Action 1 or I don't even know what it says, but so
Attach 03.
Yeah, Attach 03.
Brick, like it has the name of the file.
Exactly. So I specifically remember commenting on this. This was 11 months ago. These images came out. We saw this is our first. I think this is our first view of the E-line train system, like the raised rail train system that would run above the city.
Yeah, and the new build, like these new block buildings. Like this was all new at this time.
Yeah, and then this guy standing on the roof with the zombies. And PHVCK says they postponed this map. Yeah, but it's just funny to look. I think this is a cool a thing to look back on. Like 11 months ago, they had this, and fast forward 11 months.
We've seen nothing. Yeah, we've seen none of it.
Exactly, none of it is implemented. So I thought that was interesting. Not to trash on Daybreak, but I just thought that was interesting. And yeah. I'm glad somebody brought that up because that's something I wouldn't have even thought about. So,
now I put in a video.
I saw this. Who tweeted this to us? Was this? I think
was it Gravity?
I think it was Gravity, or was it Killcam?
It might have been Killcam. I think Killcam posted it.
There's not really any audio with it, so I guess I'll just play.
Well, it's just music, so yeah. But I mean, you can kind of skip through because it is. Well, it's 2 minutes 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to watch the whole thing. So pretty much what it is, it's this like massive racetrack that they built on this EU server, and they're doing jumps.
They made a bunch of platforms together to where it just created some massive racetrack, with walls and everything.
Yeah, it's like a Halo Forge racetrack. Now imagine
they said in here it took 500 hours to create this, and now they're gonna have a wipe.
Yeah,
isn't that frustrating?
Well, could you imagine with the base decay system, how many hours it would have taken to log on and repair this thing every day, like a full-time job. I wish
it's like, oh, I got 3/4 of it done today.
Yeah, so. I want to make sure we follow this group because if they do something like this again, I would totally love to help in the creation of something like this. And I believe this is on an EU PvE server, which makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that way you're not getting constantly trolled as you make this.
Yeah, exactly. So you can check out that video in our show notes. It was uploaded by 11:06, and if you want more information, could shoot them a message on
YouTube. We'll have a link to the YouTube video. So.
Definitely.
All right, so here's a game that I have, The Long Dark, and this is one where they put out a hot fix, and so I was just going to go over that a little bit.
We talked about this last week, right?
Well, yes. we've talked about The Long Dark.
Yeah, I think last week we talked about The Long Dark, though.
Yes. Okay. And so actually, yeah. So let me double check. Because we talked about we talked about it 2 weeks ago.
This just says it's from 1/7/16. January.
Yeah, that was January. Okay, wait, hold on.
What's 01/7/16?
Okay, yeah, wrong one. So look at the second link on there.
Okay.
So this is the story mode. So This is their new. So they're announcing because right now it's kind of like an open sandbox.
Okay.
And so it doesn't have any kind of a story mode to it. Like you can kind of tell what's going on a little bit, but they don't have the whole story mode going. So if you look, they show some different pictures and things that are some hints of what is coming, but they're going to be implementing. There's actually a YouTube video that shows some upcoming content. It shows how they're changing the graphics on it.
Okay.
And it's got it just shows like how they've added a lot of detail and kind of made it so the coloring is a little more normal. It's got kind of the feel of like some of the Telltale games as far as the look, kind of the art style. So this is something that they're going to be coming out with pretty soon, because right now you go in there, you can run around and just try to survive, but there's no story that's being unfolded in this game right now. So this is something that hopefully they'll come out here.
It seems like they're just taking magenta out of this updated color scheme. Everything is purple. They're just taking magenta out. Is what it
Yeah,
looks
they're
like.
making it more blue, but then if you look, they're actually changing out graphics
Yeah.
as well.
It's just funny how everything you can tell that everything was magenta before.
Yeah, which didn't make any sense when everything is snow. Like, why is everything such a pink tint?
Yeah, that sounds like you're. Even those trees, those are literally purple. Sounds like
Yeah.
a monitor calibration error when you're developing your game.
But it will look a lot better.
Yeah,
And
totally.
it is a very fun game, but there's just a limited amount that you can do. You know, it's not like you're really building anything. So it's kind of like Firewatch. You know,
Yeah.
if they can get a really good story in there, it's got that same kind of similar feel of Firewatch, I feel like.
Cool.
So this is one to definitely watch.
I like how they do that wipe too with the side.
Yeah,
by side.
showing you the exact same.
I do a lot of photo work, and all of our tools. You drag the bar to see, like the before
What
and the
it
after.
looked like.
Exactly.
What it looked like.
So I like that effect. So this is.
This is the Long Dark.
is it-
and I don't know why I had that link to the hotfix in there, but that is their point. That's the current version that they're on.
And this is a green light game or a non-green light game.
Well, it's available for purchase.
So was it green lit?
I think it was originally.
Okay. Cool.
But it's on the it's available in the store. It's the Long Dark, and it's still an alpha.
It's $20. So if you
$20. Sometimes it'll be on sale. I think I got it.
it's
on
an
the
early
Steam
so it's an
sales.
early access game.
It's early access now.
Gotcha.
But it is overwhelmingly positive reviews. It's 14,300 something reviews.
Single player only. Just make sure people are aware
Yeah,
of that.
so it's a single
only.
player. It's got controller support, but I think once they put in the story mode, like where you actually can see what's going on and get some story of why you're out there and
This
what
computer's got quite the specs for this game. The minimum is an dual core i5 and 4 gigabytes of RAM.
happened. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the recommended is an i7.
Yeah, an
gigs of
i7 and 8 gigs of RAM. I mean, that's I don't know. So
I don't think it requires. I don't know why they put that. Maybe they aimed high.
yeah, and is this a? This isn't okay. So this is okay. This is not a Telltale game.
And no, it's not. And he says, yeah, there are no zombies, only you and the cold and all the threats Mother Nature can muster. So
this is survival.
He wanted to have a survival game with no zombies, and I think he was kind of saying that out of spite of H1Z1.
Yeah. So there we go.
So that's the Long Dark.
Long Dark.
Now there is a video of No Man's Sky that showed. Now this is 21 minutes, but they do show 21 minutes of gameplay. So I figured you can kind of just skip around, but it'll show you that this is for a space game. It's kind of a weird, like everything seems purplish to me. Same thing as that other one. Like everything has a red tint to it. Like it just has a very odd coloring scheme.
Yeah, well, this game is supposed to be like. I mean, oh geez, it's not even gameplay. It's a freaking IGN video.
Well, you got to skip around.
Yeah, so this is the game with like an infinite number of planets, and if everybody on Earth played it, it would still take each person would need to put like 5,000 hours into it or something like that.
To be able to see all the planets.
To see all the planets. So
evenly distributed them.
yeah, so this is No Man's Sky. Announced at E3 in 2015. No, 2015. So this
Yeah,
and
so
it's PC and PS4, I believe, too.
It'll be interesting to see because it will have, pretty much planet landings and a whole system of what's happening when you go down on a planet. So it is kind of beating out, like if you look at Elite Dangerous, there's not really, other than flying around and doing space, like that's not all this game is about.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the flying element is part of it, but most of it is what he's doing right here. He's going into a planet and he's pretty much excavating it, and getting. Well, I think that's just a plutonium from these little like red rocks. And
yeah, so he's getting resources, and they've added another, and there's things to kill, things like that.
Yeah,
so
some, like,
it'd be interesting to see. So we'll have a link to this. This is, who knows? It's not really 21 minutes because they talk for part of it, but it's a decent chunk of gameplay. So you can see what the ships look like. You can see what the planets look like. It shows some of the flying elements. And so this will be interesting to see how they do this. Like if they can pull it off, it could be a really huge game.
Yeah, but Sony was all behind it on E3, so
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised with something like that. So that is No Man's Sky, and that's coming out on the PS4 and PC, I believe.
Yes.
So
that's No
Cool,
Man's
yeah.
Sky. So I want to give an update because I know we have a lot of people that are really interested in that.
Yeah.
So now, do we want to do a game giveaway?
sure, if you're ready,
Yeah.
let's do it.
So go ahead and I don't know if you want to cue the sound effect first.
Oh, sure.
Do you have it ready?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've always got the soundboard ready, so here we go.
All right. So this is Brian's game done 2016. And so if you want to,
Can't
you
believe,
wanna
we,
get
I
into
can't
this
believe we
one?
still do that. That's absolutely ridiculous.
so the code word for this is going to be Earth. This is Citizens of Earth. And here is a Steam link to it.
What is
This
the?
is a very positive rating. This is going to be the cheapest game that we have today. So it's $7.49 because right now it's 50% off on sale till the 25th. So usually it's a $15 game. But it's a RPG comedy turn-based JRPG.
what is
Which
the?
I don't know.
What's the word on this to enter?
Earth.
Earth. Okay.
So if you type Earth, yep, Earth
Gotcha.
will get you into this. And it's as the newly elected vice president of the world, it's your job to save the Earth by recruiting friends, family, and the local townsfolk. A true politician would never get his own hands dirty, after all. So it's a comedy. It looks like a lot of fun. I mean, the graphics are like they have some pretty clear graphics, but it kind of has that old style feel
okay.
of
Cool.
graphics. So yeah, so it's a comedy, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is Citizens of Earth.
And you can enter Earth in chat, and you'll be able to take part in this. So
And we actually have a couple of we'll be giving out 3 games this week. So just so you know, we'll be giving away Ark, a copy of Ark, and we'll be giving away a copy of what is it? Crisis 2 Maximum Edition.
Yeah.
Ark was donated by Landgun, and Crisis wasn't that.
that was Gravity.
It's Gravity Beard. Okay. So they donated those. So we'll be giving those a little bit later.
Yeah. It was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was definitely Gravity.
Yeah, it was
Beard.
Gravity Beard.
Okay. So yeah. So check. So stay tuned. And then we're giving away.
Yeah, so we'll let people enter that for a little bit longer. But I think I found this. Here's some links of some issues on Steam.
Oh, so I've got some. I did some more. Yeah, I did. So I did some research into this. So there was because I've actually worked with some Steam stuff before, not actually publishing a game, but running. Brian, I don't know if you ever run any like Team Fortress 2 or Gary's Mod servers. But you do a lot of stuff with like the Steam pipe and everything else.
Yeah.
So, so to submit a game to Steam, what you have to do is you have to get it approved by them. It sits in an approval. It's like submitting an app to the Apple App Store. With Greenlight, you have to pay $100 to get into you have to pay $100 to greenlight a game, just so people aren't submitting true garbage without like any repercussions.
At least they have some investment in
Exactly. The small investment of $100, but it's still $100. So what this British teenager was doing, and he posted we'll have a link in the show notes, a full thing. He posted a full walkthrough. It's been patched on medium.com. So essentially, he had got a Steamworks account, which allows you to, it's the Steamworks development program. And through playing around with Steamworks, he found, he didn't find a way. He was pretty much sending Ajax and JSON requests, pretty much by guessing the structure for it. And they weren't to submit the JSON or Ajax request, it wasn't requiring any authentication. It was just passing through the parameter. So the parameter, which was called the method was called release game, and then it was the app ID and then the session ID. So as long as you called that method release game, you could pretty much send whatever parameters you wanted to it. And he was able to release a game which was a 40-second loop of paint drying, and there you go. So Steam has been. I'm surprised nobody's done this before.
Yeah.
because
Well,
he's just fully. There was no
authentication.
authentication, and it was. I mean, it was literally a method called release game.
Yeah.
And it was just ready to go. So,
Well, and the thing is,
it's fantastic.
he contacted Steam multiple times, from what I remember, saying, "Hey, you've got problems. Will you please fix this?" And kind of the note in this first article is that there's no bounty program, like Google. If you find a bug, certain places, if you find a bug,
yeah, you can report.
you report it, and they'll give you a bounty for finding it.
Southwest
Steam
does bugs.
Has very little it has very little emphasis or encouragement of people to fix bugs for them.
Yeah, it's either Southwest or United has it's like a $10,000 bounty thing with using their Wi-Fi. If you find some bug that allows you to take control of the plane or weird stuff like that, you can it's like 10 or it's maybe even $20,000 bounty. It's some crazy amount of money. So there you go.
So this will be interesting to see. I mean, that's one thing, is they've just kind of let things go. This is a lot of money that they're playing with. Like, Steam generates a lot of money.
Yes, a lot of money.
You figured they'd be a little bit more concerned about this.
Yeah, and then I believe it was this same teenager that said that there are definitely more exploits, which would make sense because it seems like as long as you can call a method and know the parameters,
yeah,
there's nothing checking
have
it.
Credit card information on Steam, like there's
passwords
passwords that could be
the
similar to
vulnerability.
other passwords.
The vulnerability seems to be the methods that aren't requiring any type of auth, and it's just literally passing through whatever parameters you send. That seems to be the bug with this. He didn't find any. This wasn't like he was hacking into a database. They call him a hacker. Like, he didn't really hack anything. Passing stuff to a method, would you classify that as hacking? I mean, it is.
Yeah, it
kind
is.
of.
I mean, if you can
know.
find the exploit, then yeah, it is. This is simple.
I don't like that word.
This is very similar to something that happened with, I think it was Apple, if I remember correctly, and they had it to where it was Facebook. They had it to where you could guess a password. Like, if you went in there and said, "All right, I need to reset my password," it would send you this page where you just had to put in like a 6-digit code.
Okay.
I think it was, 6-digit set of numbers, and it would reset the password. And if you did it wrong, it may be Apple. I don't remember if it was Apple or Facebook, but if you did it wrong, they would, after 10 tries, it would say, "All right, we're not going to get it. Go ahead and turn around and, you ought to pull a new code." Well, the problem is on their developer version of the site, like their test one,
yeah,
there was no limit. So this guy found out that you could pretty much go do a password reset request and then just have and it would take it right in the top line. You could pretty much have it spin through the 10,000 number, 99,999 numbers or whatever. And it would, it would never stop you and ask you to stop.
Oh,
so
perfect.
pretty much you could reset the password on anyone's account within, however many minutes, however long it took you to flip through all those.
That's awesome.
And if you had a script do it, realistically, that's not a very long time.
No, and you would have a script too, because you wouldn't do that manually. So
yeah. So, but with them, like they reported it and they immediately turned off the ability. They made it so that at 10 guesses, I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was Facebook. After 10 guesses, it would reset. It would say, "All right, you're locked out. You have to request a new code."
Gotcha.
So,
well, there you go.
Little things like that, very similar concept. So,
all right. Do we want to draw for the Earth?
Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and roll here. And Unicorn Joe.
There we go.
So this is Unicorn Joe, friend of the podcast. I will send you
friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Pretty much everybody in here is a friend of the show. So there we go. Now, this is some really big news for all of you Walking Dead, PlayStation, Xbox, and survival game fans. 7 Days to Die. This is probably we should have opened with this. I didn't even think about this. 7 Days to Die is coming to the PS4 and Xbox One in June of 2016. And the reason I said for you Walking Dead fans is Telltale is the one producing it. So there is there's a new 7 Days to Die trailer, I believe.
Yes, it is. This one's new. I don't know if you want to play it. It's like a minute.
Yeah, it's like a minute or two. So this is the new trailer. I think I commented last week.
You noticed before this was ever released. You said the logo changed.
Yeah, they added. It's like they added a paint smeared, like 7 or not paint smeared, blood smeared 7. So this is the new trailer for the game.
Have you ever had a nightmare? Have you ever had a nightmare that never ended?
And there we go.
Yeah.
Man, if that doesn't get you hyped up to play a game.
So, and like all of the things that the game is about, like they were covered in that. Like how you make things.
I love when video games, you know what game does this? Call of Duty. All of their trailers are live action. I love live action video game trailers. There's nothing better than live action video game trailers.
Yep.
They're just fan-freaking-tastic. So, Telltale, I mean, from what I've heard, I don't watch The Walking Dead or play the games, but I've heard that the Walking Dead games are really good. So
they're very good.
So
now this is something that hasn't really happened in 7 Days to Die. There's not really a story to it.
Well, that's going to be changing. I can tell you that. So
this will be interesting to see. This is what I haven't been totally sure about is how is this going to change the game? Like, how is this going to change how the story is told? Because that's one thing that Telltale does the best. Very good at telling a story. 7 Days to Die, the Fun Pimps is the people who put that out. There's no real like, hey, we're telling a story. Like you're kind of just assuming things in your head. They put out a patch here not too long ago that really changed and made it the biomes is what you call them better. But this will be interesting to see. Is this going to bring in cutscenes? Because I think this is only going to be single player. If I remember correctly, I think I had read that this is single player, which the big thing on 7 Days to Die is its multiplayer aspect.
I don't see anything about it being single player on this page. You could be very right though.
From what I remember, I thought I had seen that this was going to be a single player, which didn't really match. And I may be wrong. But I swear I thought I saw somewhere that they said that the one that's coming out on PS4 is going to be single player.
Okay, very very possible.
It might not be, and if it isn't, like it would make total sense because that's one of the big things is working together and building. But if it isn't, like if they are focusing on single player on this, that's going to make them definitely change the current PC version of 7 Days to Die.
Yeah.
So, but it is an excellent game. Did you ever really play it?
No, not really.
So this game is just, its building system is huge. Like if you've seen what Heisenberg has done since they came out with this new patch, he showed me screenshots of their new base, and they just make cities.
Yeah, I don't own it, but I played it through the share thing, like once or twice. But for whatever that's worth.
It is an awesome game. And my thing is, if they could add in something, and for me, it's all about immersion. I always talk about that. But if they could add in some things so that they're kind of telling the story of like what happened, because that's something they haven't tried to do. And maybe they figured, hey, if we grew up with them, we'll develop the game and make it fun, but they can put in the work and put the story into it. And hey, that's a perfect combination if that's what they're planning on doing. If they're treating them totally separate, then who knows? I just don't know why they would do that.
Now it does have
why Telltale would come in and do it.
It does have multiplayer support and local split
Okay,
screen. So
okay, good. Then I think I had just seen first person, probably in my mind thought single player.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's why I wasn't sure, because I was thinking it said that for some reason. I'm like, well, this kind of defeats the whole purpose of what I view 7 Day to Die being.
Yeah,
about.
Exactly. So that's really big. That was probably, we should have opened with that. I really didn't even think about it, but that was probably the biggest thing this week out of all of the games that we talk about, is the fact that
this was a big surprise. And
Telltale that's like the real deal. Like they're getting Telltale is producing their console version of that game.
I was just very surprised that they were stepping in. They must really believe in this game.
Yeah, like I bet. Well, I think with what's the latest Walking Dead episode that's out on PC?
Well, they're in there. Michonne.
Okay,
they're doing the Michonne story. I think that's the latest one.
Yeah, I wonder if they're looking. They see the Walking. Maybe they've got the Walking Dead's series planned out and completed, like internally with like that stuff, and they're looking for something new. And with this, at least, the game is, they've already got an idea. They've already got, in this case, some type of player base. It's not really, not a player base on the console, but they've got a player base. They've got an idea. They've got a website. They've got a community. They're not starting from scratch. So I bet you for them, it's easier for them to hop into this than starting a fresh idea up. So
yeah,
this is big news for all of you 7 Days to Die fans. So,
and I asked Heisenberg, and I think that they were just kind of nervous of, is this going to change it for them? Because this will unfold.
Oh yeah.
Like, are they going to make it better? Are they going to change it to where it's worse? Is they going to be totally separate? Like, is the PC one going to be very different?
7 Days to Die right now is a game that you have to invest a whole lot of time into with a lot of people. They're probably going to make it more easy mode, which I'm sure people that really like it are going to say, oh, we don't want that. But how many people are playing 7 Days to Die right now? Probably not a lot. I think we even have that. I don't know. I think we have that in our current
I think
players.
I took, but if we can jump to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, so it's just 7 Days to Die. There are currently, it's not even showing me.
So for me,
there's 6,000 people playing it right now.
Almost 7,000. So I see 6,885 people playing right now. The peak, 24-hour peak, was a little over 9,000.
When we sit back and we'll say like, H1Z1 doesn't. I mean, that's not great for a game
that has like 1.4 or 1.3 million copies sold.
Yeah. So I bet you they're going to.
But this is a game where you get a lot of people because they put out big patches. Like a big patch will come out, they'll be at 15,000, 20,000 people for a while, for a day or two, 15,000, and then it'll drop down. Like if they can bring in kind of a story to it and like kind of bring in that audience, because right now it's the dedicated hardcores that go in there willing
and that's
to invest.
Perfectly fine, and I'm fine with that audience. Don't get me wrong, but when you're a game development company and you are dealing with, paying staff and paying to keep a game getting developed, there's got to be more than 6,000 people playing it. Like Ark, for example.
Yeah.
So, and introducing the story, I'm sure we'll get something on that. Now, I'm just getting a post from
DHVCK did say, he said fans of Telltale's The Walking Dead series will be excited to learn that pre-ordering 7 Days to Die will give you them exclusive access to 5 character skins from Telltale's hit series, including Michonne and Lee Everett.
Cool. So Stairwave just posted this link. This is in somebody posted something about about something to Daybreak on Reddit, and Chris Wynn came back and said that he will be sure to get some news on the Z2 map in the next producer update, meaning the one that's going to come out this Friday. So there you go. That's for whatever that's worth. We'll see.
He says, I was not aware of anything that had been said publicly in regards to Z2 prior to my joining. So
I mean,
he said I had assumed not much of anything had been said. So
I mean,
it'd be interesting to see what he says.
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting that this is not the first time he's seen the word Z2 on Reddit.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that people have been asking about for months and months.
Well,
and months
you
and
showed
months.
the Z2 map from 11 months ago that we were talking about then.
So we'll see. Hopefully we'll have. Hopefully it's actually information, and it's not just hey, we're working on it.
Hey,
working on it, guys.
No promises based on what was said in previous.
Yeah, exactly. Let's announce the other second giveaway now, so that we can get the third one in towards the end.
Okay, so this one is going to be an Origin game. Sorry,
Yes.
but this is Crisis 2. Crisis 2 Maximum Edition. So
we'll enter Crisis probably.
Yeah, hold on, let me put it in there first. So this will be Crisis 2 Maximum Edition.
Maximum.
Yes, so Crisis is going to be the word, all lowercase. This thing is sensitive to case for some reason.
Yeah.
I wish it was.
So there you go. Crisis in chat, and you'll get
But this
yourself.
will be the Crisis 2 Maximum Edition. Maybe I can grab a link that actually shows, because this won't be on Steam, as I said. This is going to be an Origin.
Yeah.
Origin code, so you'll have to release it on activate it on Origin.
Yeah. Now there were some updates to Unturned this week,
Yes.
and the one thing I like about Unturned is the developer, because it's just one guy. He kind of dumps everything that he does into one note. So some of the additions, which are the main things here. So we added brick buildables. So you can now build stuff out of bricks. Added an oil derrick. Added a metal rack / trophy case. So now you can put your medals and trophies in a case somewhere inside a house or a base.
Yep.
Added a cage light, which is cage light is it's a light with that. It's like light with that like plastic cage around it that looks like a football helmet front.
Is that what it looks like?
I believe that's. I mean, that's what I assumed.
Or like a
it
wire. I mean, I would think a wire cage.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's just that material around the cage light.
Oh, okay.
Added shutters, which I would imagine are the shutters like you see on the front of a house. There's no images of any of this stuff. Added food, water, health, and viruses to the player configuration, and added a few new curated workshop items. So those were the additions for the update to Unturned. That's 3.14 actually, 120. So there you go.
Yep, that was put out April 8th.
Yeah, so that's Unturned. Now this next game, Brian, we covered. I think we talked about it first last week or the week before.
Yes, we announced it, and we actually have some people that are involved. Some of our listeners are involved in helping getting this going. So
this is Waterworld, H2O.
Waterworld.
It's Waterworld.
Yeah.
H2O.
I pulled out H2O.
it's Waterworld.
Yeah.
And this game is in early access. You can get it for
This past
last
week
week.
it was released for early access. It wasn't available yet.
Last week's show, it was not available. So it is now. You can get it 15% off. It ends April 16th. So you've got until Saturday to buy this at its discounted rate. So.
Yep, and this is something that the developer is full time on this, and he's putting out patches regularly. And as I said last week, if you'd like to get involved in the game, I know that he would be totally open to having people help him.
Well, let's
develop
see.
this.
See if we can talk to some of our contacts and get a few copies of this to maybe give away next week or something.
Yeah, and the moderator of their Reddit, I think he's listening right now. He actually is, yeah.
Oh, really?
Mugzilum.
Okay.
Yep. So he's their Reddit moderator. So,
Cool.
but yeah, and I know that if you look at the Reddit page, Gravity actually put together that graphic that's at the top of it.
Oh, really? Cool. Yeah. So we'll get some more information on this. Maybe we'll get some copies to give away for next week's show.
Yeah, and I've been playing it here and there throughout the week, and it's a fun game. I played
it's kind of like
after
Ark.
they released.
It's like Ark, but all based in water, is what it kind of represents.
Yeah,
to me.
and they have boats, and like it's similar concept.
Yeah.
There's no dinosaurs. There's fish,
Yeah.
sharks.
I
things like that,
guess
but-
maybe Ark.
But they've
and-
got turrets.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a pretty good base building system. It's pretty advanced. Like what he's put out so far is pretty good for just having been released.
Now people are saying they need to rethink the name of that game. I really like the name H2O.
Yeah.
I think that's really clever. Hide and hold out, H2O.
Yep.
So I don't know. I guess that's opinion. So
I think if people get to know it as H2O,
HT,
like
yeah, that's working
that-
great, Brian. Nice job.
H2O. H2O, that'll be what catches on.
Exactly.
I don't think hide and hold out is going to necessarily, but I think
No.
if people say, hey, I'm playing some H2O this week.
Hey man, you want to go play some H2O, bro? HBO, yes, exactly. So there were some improvements this week. They did 3 what appear to be hot fixes. So the
Well,
first
the first one's a hot fix,
okay.
but let's see. The first one's a hot fix. The second one was a regular patch.
Okay.
And I think the third one was
So
regular
this
patch.
is version number. Let me read this version number now. It's version 0.0.01.65. So this is you're on version 0 here. So we're right in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
So the improvements on this one are that the connection approval system has been rewritten and now gives complete logs concerning any denied access. So this is for the connection system. And then the game should now close correctly when the user is connected to a server with lots of buildings and vehicles. So I guess there was the game was
which is not closing out correctly.
which would indicate like stuff was still being stored in memory or something like that.
it was trying to still sync or something.
So that's fully done now. And those are the improvements on the first one here.
And then they had a number of fixes, but yeah, this was just released at that time, or I don't even know if it was exactly out yet when that happened.
And these are just the improvements. There's little stuff, but we're covering the improvements on here. And then for the 0.01.66, added the option to invert the mouse for people that I don't know anybody that plays with inverted mouse, but I guess there's got to be somebody that asked for it, or it wouldn't be added in there. And then there's now a more detailed message appearing on the screen when the connection is denied. So if you get declined, I'm sure before it probably just went away. Now it'll actually tell you that.
Yeah.
And then on 0167, the improvements for this is the whole network system should be more stable, which is big. The send of buffer size has been increased on the server side, so now there's a little bit more buffer on that. A line has been added to the config file server side to let the hoster decide the hour of the automatic daily restart of the server. And you can also set the value to -1 so that daily restarts will be disabled. Now, I imagine the reason for a daily restart is that
like clearing memory,
clearing
like that.
memory, clearing debris, clearing anything that is left. I'm sure there's not what typically what's called a trash can or garbage removal system, which is like when an object is like in Minecraft, when an object sits on the ground for like 15 minutes, it'll disappear. I'm sure there's no trash collection or garbage removal system in here yet. So their kind of workaround is to have a server restart every day. So, and that's 0.0167, and that is live right now, and that was updated today. So,
And then in the next couple of days, they're going to be having the 0.1.68. And so if one thing you can do, I put a link in here and we'll have it in the show notes, is their Trello.
oh, okay, they're using Trello.
Which-
What other game was
yeah.
using Trello? We looked at something else that was using Trello. I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my
Definitely
head, but
wasn't
I do remember
H1Z1.
us-
I can.
No,
I, can
I
assure
do
you.
remember us looking at it. I'm trying to remember what game it was, but so it has a lot of things of what's going to be expected in the next update. People can post ideas on there. This is just something that if you want to have some input or they have ideas, like here's some ideas for ships, because this is a very unlimited world. I mean, you could add really cool boats. Just there's a lot of stuff you can do in this. So they're at the very beginning, so it's a great time to give your input
Yeah.
and actually have a developer that'll listen to it. Because I mean, we got kind of burnt out with like H1Z1. We would give input, get input, and you'd never hear anything from it. It's good to get in on the ground floor of this, so you can say, hey, I think this kind of a boat concept would be really awesome, or this kind of mechanic in the game would be awesome, and they'll actually listen to you.
Yeah.
If it's a idea that makes sense.
Yeah. Not just like, that's stupid, man.
If
Want
you could do
something
that
better.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah. Can you make this like Ark? So you can check that out on Steam. There'll be a link in the show notes at infectionpodcast.com. $15. So if something like this interests you, you can pick that up, and we'll definitely try to get some,
And I've been seeing a lot of people building some pretty decent sized bases because it's a modular base building system.
which we showed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally modular.
There's it's close to unlimited of what you can do when building a base. It's not like H1Z1 where you put your square here, and then if you put a whole bunch of squares really close to each other, it looks like a big base.
Yeah.
No, this one you can just build it out as long as you have the resources. for it.
Flying sharks, according. So there we go. Flying sharks.
Yeah, flying sharks, and then submarines. That's something in this kind of a game where you could make a submarine. I mean, imagine all the things you could do. You could make just giant, huge floating bases. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
So that's Hide and Holdout H2O, and you can get that on Steam right now. Do we want to roll for our winner of
Yes.
Crisis 2 Maximum Edition?
All right. So the winner of this one is Locklore 97. So
Another
Locklore-
another friend of the show.
another friend of the show. Yes.
I can't believe you said that's like a total like radio thing. Like
Friend of the show.
yeah, you'd be like, hey, Jimmy, friend of the show. Jimmy's a friend of the show. I was at Jimmy's house this weekend. He's a good friend of the show. That's pretty funny. So congratulations, Locklore.
So Mugzillum says he just sent me a bunch of different games to do a giveaway from, and they just sold 5,000 units just then. So
He just gave us
All
a
right.
bunch of copies to give away.
let me look. I just sent you a bunch of different games to do a giveaway from. So I'll have to look and see.
Okay, yeah, we'll do something next week. Definitely.
We'll promote it. Yeah, we'll promote
we'll-
it next week because I got to find where they're at, where you posted them to.
Yeah.
I think
probably in a
I think
Twitch
you sent them
PM.
to my
Okay.
I think you may have sent to my Steam, but let's promote it.
Yeah, we'll do it next
and
week. We'll get some people in here. We'll talk about it. So,
Yep. And then we can announce it on Twitter.
yeah, so look forward to that. If you're interested in H2O, you got to be in here live tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for that.
No, yeah. So he gave me. So they're giving me other games, not
Oh.
H2O,
Well, there you go.
but they are games from the H2O community. So we'll but those are ones we'll promote, like we'll announce because we need to start announcing the games I'm going to give away before we do them.
Yes.
Since I'm putting them in the show notes, that would be a little bit better promotion. So Locklore, I'll send you that code right now.
Yeah, and Oliver says he also sent you a code of Miscreated to give away. So check your Twister
I
messages.
think we already
bro.
gave that one.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Maybe you did.
I think we already gave away the
Oh,
miscreated.
Brian,
one.
you're really losing.
I tried to
it
keep
here.
track of all this. Well,
It's not
we
working.
gave away miscreated, and then Landgun had given me that copy of Ark to give away, and so like he sent it as a humble bundle gift, and so it was in some different place. So I've been tracking. That's why I'm putting him in the show notes, so that I actually can keep track of where these codes are coming from.
Yes.
because
So
it can get to be a big mess.
yeah. So congratulations, Locklore. And then thank you for the miscreated copy. Now, Brian, you have another game in here, and it's called The Black Death. And
Yes,
this is
so
coming
this
out.
is a new one.
It's not out yet.
I-
Why is this in here? What about this?
So this is a survival
It's survival?
game.
Looks like Chivalry.
Yeah, but it is actually a survival game.
Okay.
And this was backed by Green Man Gaming. So like he backed a game
Oh. Oh, so you
and
know it's got the Green Man Gaming seal of approval.
seal of approval.
We need a
yes.
stamp that just smashes into the screen. Approved, Green Man Gaming.
And so I actually have a code on here that if you order it now, it'll give you 25% off of the pre-order. So we'll have a link to that.
We need,
Actually,
like, we need like the little Green Man Gaming alien be like, phew, flown in.
There you go. So I threw a link to that, but that gives you 25% off of the currently $19.99 price. Now this game, it feels like Chivalry, right? But it has to where you're gathering. The whole concept is that the Black Death. So they're not zombies, but people are infected, right? People are passing around this.
Infected, I gotcha. Yep, following you.
They're passing around this virus, that you're trying to avoid getting. So they have these different classes. They have like a priest, which is the old, like a monk. And he's a guy who's kind of a healer. They have, people that are, I'm trying to remember all the different classes, but you'll have your more melee, knight type of a person, a whole bunch of different classes that you can choose from, and you gather materials. You can group up with people, but this is one that it'll be interesting to see because it is a survival game that is set in medieval times.
Yeah.
So
that is interesting, because I don't know how I feel about that. That's a.
But it's an open world survival, and of course, early access. It should be out here on the 19th.
It doesn't appear that there's any building system. It's just like looks like it's just strictly survival, because it just literally looks like Chivalry. Not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah, and I watched some of the things. I don't know. I haven't heard too much. Like what
it just says
survive. Be a building system.
The key feature is survive, live, fight, explore, buy. So there does not appear that there's a base building system. So it's not going to be survival in the aspect of that.
Doing, like,
it's still survival.
Professions. Yeah, they're doing different professions. So you can be militia or farm as a peasant. So you can set up farms. So there might be something. Explore, which is, it's going to have a Western Europe type of a feel. It's an 8-kilometer squared map with the day-night cycle, animals, and a range of characters to interact with. And they're talking about, when they talk about buy, they're talking about like weapons, armor, houses. So you buy houses.
Yeah.
So someplace to live.
And I wasn't taking away saying it doesn't have a base building system, but I know a lot of people in our circle, our private circle, of course, because we don't play with our fans. Like I like the base building aspect. I like being able to build something. So if you're looking for that, this doesn't necessarily have that. But this is cool. Maybe.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how they do. Like you can buy a plot of land and farm it, and I mean, if they can put that in there right, that'll.
I don't know. This is kind of intriguing, but I mean, who knows?
I like the feel of it. I mean,
we'll see the reviews. And here's the thing: once it's out on the 19th, which will be actually next week's show.
7 days. It'll be during our next show.
Yeah, I guess we could. I wonder if people will be stream. I'd like to watch some streamers and some YouTubers.
If they release it early enough in the day, maybe we can watch some live streams on Twitch and see how it feels.
Exactly. Yes. See how it feels through Twitch. Because it's hard to tell from these freaking trailers, man. They're all so pre-produced, and that's not a knock on it, but that's just the way it is, right? You watch it, it's just the way it is. So it's kind of hard to get a feel for the game. So you can get that on Green Man Gaming.
That's one to keep an eye on. So it's Black Death, 25% off right now on Green Man Gaming. Usually they give the 20% discount, so this is giving you an extra 5% off.
Coolio. Now, this next thing is a game that is something that I talked. I don't know why. I don't know what intrigued you to put this in the show notes, but this is Project 1999. This is EQ99.
I was browsing around when I was supposed to be doing school today.
You've never seen this before?
Well, I've heard about it.
Okay.
So I figured I would just kind of go back and look at because we talked a little bit about the original EverQuest.
Yes.
But this is a project where they have the 1999 pretty much flavor of EverQuest, so you can play it now.
Well, there are almost 1,300 people playing right now on the server. So.
And I mean, this would be the EverQuest that I remember because that's when I played was like in 2000-ish.
Yeah.
So this would be for me a total throwback of like my very first experience with an RPG like this.
Yeah.
a multiplayer version of it. So
Project 99 is what it's called, and it's also referred to as EQ 99, I believe.
yeah. So if you want to just go, and it's a free. Remember, it's a free.
Oh, it
thing
is free. Yeah, they're just like they're like rebuilding it.
Yep. So you can go on there, and if you remember some fond memories of EverQuest, like it would be fun just to go in there and run around and see. I mean, I created a warrior my very first time. It'd be fun to kind of create that exact same character that I had and see how much of it, how much of I remember, or if I run around and be like, man, this is crap.
Yeah, this was no fun. I don't know why I'm even playing this. So there you go, Project 1999. If you are interested in that.
So I just figured I would throw that in there. So it'd be kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, so let's announce the next game giveaway, and then we'll roll into current players.
All right, so this next one is going to be Ark. And so what we can do is just for the code.
Ark?
Yeah, let me make sure it's in there correctly, though. So this one, the code will just be all lowercase Ark. So don't capitalize it like the game is.
Cool.
And this will be a code that's redeemable on Steam for Ark.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So with that, we will roll into current players. Currently playing H1Z1 combined, 9,245. The 24-hour peak for this is for these games, I should say, is 14,036. And the 7-day peak is 17,659. Currently playing H1Z1 Just Survive, 1,991, so just below the 2,000 mark there. And the 24-hour peak is 2,776. And then the 7-day peak for that is 3,577. Playing H1Z1 King of the Kill right now, 7,687. The 24-hour peak for that is 11,632. And the 7-day peak for that, 14,357. Switching games to Ark. Currently playing that, this is Ark Survival Evolved, 30,343. The 24-hour peak for this is 46,737. And the 7-day peak, 62,383. And then Survival of the Fittest, it can't seem to get any traction. Currently playing that, 1,734. The 24
That's pretty much the same as what it's been like the last
It's
3
always
weeks, right?
high thousands, mid to high thousands. The 24-hour peak for that is 2,637, and the 7-day peak, God, this number's low, 3,577. So, there you go. That's the current players for that, and that's current players. So, I'm really upset that can't grab any traction.
Survival of the Fittest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one that I'm surprised it's not taken up bigger than it has. I think if they can get some major streamers doing it, then people are like, wow, this is cool. But
it's 7-day peak.
There's no real marketing for them.
Yeah.
Like they're not trying to sell it, so they're not.
It's kind of a shame. It's like, why put the time into it, right?
Yeah. But for them, I don't think it's such a huge project outside of like whenever they create better things inside of regular Ark, they can implement. They're not using it like an excuse like H1Z1 does of, we got 2 separate things when they're really the same. Like I think they're saying, these are 2 separate things and we have a couple people maintaining it, but they're totally open to, hey, we can use assets and resources and graphics and whatever else, physics from the main one, put them in here. They're not having to have a full-time team making sure that the base of that game works.
Exactly. So there you go.
Yeah, Lyrics, I know played it like on launch day, but he wasn't very I think he's frustrated that you have to be pretty good at it right now. Like there's a lot of people that
shots fired. Wow.
I mean, it's just, he wasn't doing that well with it. And I think that if you could get some streamers to get into it and like get good at it to where they feel like they're actually winning. The problem is there's a lot of people that play a lot more Ark and are really good at it, that make those guys look bad.
Wow. Yeah. You're,
You know
so,
what I'm saying?
so you're singling out Lyric here.
Well, he's the one who I saw.
Shots fired
do
at
it.
Lyric.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's the one. He's the one that I saw. He's the one that I saw streaming it first, and he pretty much got stomped, and it was like, I'm leaving.
All right. You want to do your tip and then do the giveaway, or the giveaway now?
Yeah. So let's do the tip first. But if you're wanting to enter for ARC, if you want a free copy of ARC, just type ARC, all lowercase in chat.
Comes with free healthcare as well. So
yeah. Yes. So go ahead and type ARC in chat just like that. All right. So tip of the week is where we go through and I'll give some sort of either a survival tip, maybe for a specific game, or it can be something that's going to help you and just enhance your gameplay overall. So we do this every week. This is tip of the week. All right, so this tip is one that is going to help you with pretty much all your games on your have on your computer. With your graphics card, I'm assuming almost everyone has either an ATI card or an AMD card. If you don't, I don't know what you're running. But each of those different cards have a program that is supposed to help enhance the gameplay of your games. For NVIDIA, they have one called GeForce Experience. For ATI, they have a program called AMD Gaming Evolved. And this is something where it will, when you install this, it will scan your computer for every single game that you have installed. It'll put them in a list. And oddly, both of these games or both of these programs are almost identical. It's like they're the same thing, but with a different look on the front. They pretty much just copied each other. So when you launch this, you'll get to a list of games and you'll have an option to go in and optimize the game. And what it's really doing is just going in and tuning the settings based on the graphics card that you have that would be the best. So let's say you're running like a 660 GTX or something. You're not going to want to run some games on maximum, because if you run something on ultra, the top settings, most likely that game will not run correctly. It'll lag. It'll have really low frames. So what they do is they look at, okay, you have the 660 GTX graphics card. Let's go ahead and set your graphics to medium, and we'll tune these settings for you. Or perhaps you have like I have a 970. It'll go through and say, okay, you can run either on high or ultra for this game. So if you click optimize, it'll go through into those that game settings, set all of those for you so that the next time you launch the game, they are launching at those settings. One thing to keep in mind is if you click optimize on some of these, let's say you're running windowed borderless mode, it will change it to most likely to full screen. So I know in the NVIDIA, and there's a way to do it in the ATI one as well, you can go in and say, all right, I want to tweak these settings. And you can say, all right, when you hit optimize this game, I want this to be a windowed borderless mode. I don't want it to be a full screen mode. And it will, it'll automatically, when you go do it again, remember that you would change that setting and make it a windowed borderless. You can do that on both of them. You could even say, all right, I want my optimized setting to be a lower or higher than what you're putting. You can go in and tweak it to that. But this will go through and just set your anti-aliasing, your resolutions, your just whatever it is, the distance rendering, all of those things. It will set it to what it feels is optimal for your graphics card. If you have it tries, I know the NVIDIA one tries to count in perhaps like if your CPU speed, your memory, but mostly it's going to be counting on your graphics card for this. So both of those have that. Also, they have different features for recording live gameplay, something to where shadow play on the NVIDIA, to where you can go in and have it save the last 10 minutes of your gameplay. Maybe if something happened and you want to save it to post to YouTube or something. These are all included in that. I know they also have some things if you want to test to see if your computer is VR compatible, if you're looking at getting VR. All these are included in this tool. and it's a great way to update your graphics drivers as well, because it will notify you when a new version of the graphics driver is out. So this is GeForce Experience or AMD's Gaming Evolved. When you go download your driver, most likely install this, so you probably already have it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was quite the tip there, Brian.
Yeah, sorry, I only put part of that in the notes, but I put most of it in there. So
Cool. So yeah, there you go.
very good. So do you want to do the roll, or is there anything else you can think of?
I am all set. Are you guys doing a game this weekend?
I am actually going out of town for a conference on Friday. So unless it's something I can play on my laptop in the hotel room,
You need to get this same laptop I have. This
I know that's the problem is
this
it has to be a
K501,
game
man.
I can-
this thing's like
maybe
it's like $700, right? And you
Yeah.
think like, oh, $700. It's probably got like a GTX 950M Core i7, 8 gigs of RAM. This thing is. I mean, I played Ark on this laptop.
well, I don't and I don't know, like Guild Wars 2. I don't know if I'd have to install it on my laptop and see if it would even run it.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it would. Maybe
Just bring your desktop.
yeah, hook that up in the hotel room.
Hey, man, you're drawing all the electricity. You
Yeah.
probably won't even have good internet in a hotel room, depending on. You probably won't have internet, so.
Yeah, it's in a smaller town. So
No,
I just found out this past week that I was going to be going to this for my Kiwanis. So
enjoy.
exciting. Yeah.
Well-
So I got to be in a hotel Friday night and come home.
I can't tell if that
Saturday.
was an exciting or an exciting.
Yeah, no, it's not that exciting.
Oh, okay. So, I guess we'll roll the winner for Ark.
Yes.
Hopefully it's
All
me.
right.
Hopefully it's me.
So the winner is Falcon's Watch.
Come, what? He already has a copy of Ark.
Hey, we didn't put any rules on it. So anyone can win it. So Falcon, I will send you.
This is
Hey,
ridiculous.
Hey, you
Rigged.
can give-
I agree. This is probably his copy
Hey,
he sent
another
in.
friend of the show. It's like we're giving away all these to friends of the show. So yeah, he said someone said they ran Guild Wars. BK Del Tar says he ran Guild Wars 2 on an Intel B980. So maybe I should try installing it, because maybe that's what I'll be playing this weekend is Guild Wars 2.
There you go.
So
Congratulations, Falcon. I'm sure this will get a good
I
use.
can see Nick really wanted to win this. So
No, I didn't. I just
spite.
yeah. So I can have 2 copies of the game I don't play.
So
All
and
right.
I'm pretty sure that's Ark. If it's miscreated, I'm sorry, but I kept on getting confused on which one. But I swear it's Ark, because that's the one I pulled out of the thing. But if it is miscreated, it's miscreated.
Well, there you go.
But I'm pretty sure it's Ark. It's a Steam code, and it's like I'm not going to type it in to figure out what it is.
I actually have 2 copies, but now I do want
He
my.
wants his brother-in-law to play with him.
Well, there you go. See, so even if somebody already has a copy, give it
Well,
to
his
a
son
friend.
plays,
Yeah, so you can give it to
and
a
then
friend.
he plays, and now his brother-in-law can play.
Yeah,
So,
give it to
cool.
a friend, family member. You can do.
And now RuneScape, we'll save this for the after show, because someone's bringing up RuneScape, and I was going to.
We're not talking about RuneScape on the show. I have to.
Oh, come on, it's been out for 15 years.
Yeah, we're not talking about it. That does not fit in. There is under no circumstances does RuneScape come into this show. Oh, you cooked the fish over the fire for too long. You burned it. Oh, geez. Go catch some fish in the water again. Sitting there with your stupid net.
I can see that you're upset.
Screw
about
RuneScape, man.
how
What a
hard-
freaking waste of time. All right, Brian, where can people find you online?
Yeah, if you want to find me, go ahead and go to Bite of Tech. Of course, that's with an I, biteoftech.com. And on there, there'll be a lot of links. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @BoiseComputer. Of course, we have Infection Podcast. If you want to check out our website, infectionpodcast.com, we have our Steam group on there. I encourage you, if you have any friends that you play a lot of games with, invite them to our Steam group.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. Infect your friends. Like a little catchphrase. We'll treat it like the radio. Infect your friends.
And then I need like a guy to go like, whoa! Like a little
you could be the
pinch
the
wheel.
wacky side
Yeah.
co-host. And then definitely check out our Steam group on there. If you got some friends that are playing a game, get them in there as well. So because we have a lot of people, we got 150-ish, isn't it? Or to 350? I
It's
don't remember how
300
many.
or something, yeah. Right, one more
350 or
time,
something.
can you tell people to infect their friends?
Yeah, infect your friends.
Whoa, infect your friends in the Steam group.
Yeah, so, but as I was saying, you can get some of your friends in there because we have a lot of people that play games that maybe they're like, oh, no one else I know plays this. If you can get them in there, they'll see that those people are playing. Be a good way to get people hooked up. So
300. We've been at 349 for, I believe, like
we had
weeks
350,
now.
so someone left, and that upsets me. We had one.
Yeah, you
person leave.
bastard.
I can't believe you. Who would leave?
Yeah, and plus the other thing, not just getting them into the Steam group, but if I mean, we probably just gave away 30, probably $60 or $70 in games on the show.
Yeah.
So get people in here live too, if you can do that. So tell people the live show, same time, same place every week. Twitch.tv/infection podcast. Thank you, Brian. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
So
It's nice to be able to talk. I mean, I'm still a little bit stuffed up, but
nothing like it was last week.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it and it's just like, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Doesn't even sound like me.
All right, guys. Brian, thank you. Thanks everybody for coming in, checking it out live, and we'll do it again next week. That is going to do it for episode 65 of Infection, the Survival Podcast. My name is Nick Craig. InfectionPodcast.com is the website. We'll see you next week for Infection. Have a great week, everybody.